to another episode of Lucas Live. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Tyndale, and I'm excited to be here with you guys today. If you're here with us right now, I always want to welcome you because I know you're a replay viewer. Because the people who are watching live just got the notification. So you're like early, but you're late. But you're early. But whatever. I don't know what you are, but you're here, and I'm glad you're here, and I'm excited that you're taking your time to watch this replay. I've had people tell me they're binge watching my show. You don't know what an honor it is to have somebody say they're binge. I'm like, how, my show? You care enough to watch my show episode after episode, hour after hour? And people are saying the people who are coming on Lucas Live have been changing their lives. They've been giving them exactly what they needed. They've been giving them the education, motivation, and liberation that they needed. So I'm so excited to have you guys here. And as our live audience starts to join us, I want to welcome you, Andromeda Raheem. I see you first in the room. It's only right. The founder of the She Wins Society is here with us in the audience. She's here with you guys. So those of you who are watching, again, whether you're watching live or by replay, Andromeda has joined us each and every night. Now, she kicked off the week for us on Sunday, and she told us how the She Wins Society started and how she grinded and how she doubted and how she found the faith to keep going and how people came around her and supported her. And we've had so many great women from the She Wins Society. I've been posting about the She Wins Society. I've been talking about the She Wins Society. You would think I was in the She Wins Society, but I'm a man, so I'm not in the She Wins Society, but I believe I'm going to get an honorary brother badge. I'm just trying to get an honorary brother badge that lets me be a pseudo member / brother who is a strong supporter of the She Wins Society. I love everything you guys are doing. My wife is a member. She's been a member for many years, and the She Wins Society has been life-changing for her and life-changing for so many people. The people who've been coming on talking about She Wins, and not just She Wins, but what Andromeda has done for them personally. I'm like, how? Like yesterday we did have a rumor that Andromeda has clones. I mean, we don't know if this is true or not, but I don't know how one person has touched so many lives unless they have a triplet or something, or they have clones. I don't know. But we're gonna stop the conspiracy theories. That's not this type of show. That's not what we do here on Lucas Live. We talk about education, motivation, liberation. As always, this show is dedicated to my dear mother, who I lost on March 26th of this year, passed away from breast cancer, and I said, I'm going to live life. So I hit go live because that's how I'm living. I'm going live. That's how I'm going to show the man that she raised me to be and bring on great guests and plug people into education, motivation, liberation, because that's who my mom was. She was an educator. She taught us so many things, and she was always teaching us to do things the right way, and she was motivating and always encouraging, and she was liberating. She didn't hold us down by the rules that so many people get bound by. She was like, I always say this. My mom told me, do your homework or don't do your homework. I don't even care if you do your homework. She said, now, if you get a detention, don't call me. You're going to have to walk. And I did have to walk one time. But she was liberating. She's like, don't stress out about it. I'm not going to be mad at you, but you got to live and die with the consequences of your choices. And so I've been able to live my life like that. But there were times where I wasn't as free. But now that my mom is gone, I have to live that out because it's all about her. So I'm just excited to be here. I'm excited to honor my mom as always. And I'm excited to bring you guys great content. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all better buckle up today. If you're, you might be live, you might be replay. I don't know. If you're team replay and you're watching this now, put hashtag team replay so we know, so we see you. Because when you do it, we're going to check you out and we're going to shout you out and we're going to appreciate that you're here. If you're here live, thank you so much for being here. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had the pleasure of talking to our guest here for the last half an hour or so. And she is just fire, okay? I can't even describe it. I mean, I asked her a couple questions, just like, I just want to, know a little bit about, what you do and a little bit, Andromeda connected us. And that's why we brought these guests on. Andromeda, picked the guests and helped to coordinate it. And I'm like, so Ronda, what's up with credit and this, that, and the other? And she just broke it down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you to share this broadcast. If you know anybody, they don't have to be struggling with their credit, but maybe they want to make a move. Maybe they want to buy a house. Maybe they've been talking about buying a car. Maybe they need credit to build their business. I don't know what they need. Or maybe their credit is a mess and you know it. Tag them. Hey, they ain't gonna know that we know that you know that they know that we know that they know that their credit is jacked up. Okay, it's all good. Nobody will know. It's all good. But tell them, come on and share it on your page. But as I always say, don't do a watch party. Unless you're watching by replay, feel free to do a watch party and engage the watch party people. But if you're on Facebook, what a Facebook watch party does is it puts all those people in a separate room. And so we won't see their comments, and I won't be able to throw their comments up on the screen or answer their questions. So just hit share to page, share it to your groups. If you're in part of a group, I don't care if you're the admin of the group. It's a lot of groups. They'll let you share it to the group. Share it to the group. Somebody needs to see this. If you're on LinkedIn, share this. This is a very relevant topic to our people on LinkedIn. Credit, business, your life, your personal credit. This is a very relevant topic to our YouTube followers, to our Periscope followers. We thank you for being here. We're so excited to have all of you, ladies and gentlemen. I see the comments rolling. Let me shout out some of the people here in the audience. As I already shouted out, Andromeda Raheem, the founder of the She Wins Society. This week is about the She Wins Society, and it's about the work of Andromeda Raheem. Shout out to her. Tina Regan, we thank you so much for being here. Mrs. Gloria Pope, we welcome you to the show. So glad to have you. My lovely wife, Corinne Marie Tyndall. Sweetie, thank you for supporting. You know, I really appreciate it. You're a part of the She Wins Society, and you and I are a part of each other. You are a part of me, and I am a part of you, sweetie. So if you weren't watching the show, my heart would break slowly. So I thank you so much, sweetie, for being here. Always appreciate it. JJ Lilly, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate your love and support, your constant dedication. JJ Lilly, I don't know what you do. I don't know if you told all your family and friends not to bother you at 7 p.m. Eastern, but you are here every day, and you are appreciated. I want to thank you so much. Angie, thank you for being here. You said you might get lost. You might get squirrely and miss this. I'm glad you're here. So make sure you share this broadcast, because somebody who you know needs to hear this, and they're going to see it on your page and be like, what they talking about? Some credit? I need to hear a little something about this because I want to buy a house, or I want to buy a new house, or my child is trying to buy a house and I need to help them out, or I'm trying to get some credit to get this car. I'm trying to get these bills paid off, or I'm behind on some things because of the coronavirus and I'm a little nervous. I don't know if the house people are going to ask me for all the money back or some of the money back, or if these people who holding off on these loans, are they really holding off on the loans, or what am I supposed to do? Which credit card should I pay off first? We going to talk about it today. Sharice Grantham, thank you so much as always. You are such a loyal follower. Sharice, I believe I got the men's face cream in the mail today. I believe. Shout out to Sharice Grantham. If you need some Mary Kay products, holler at Sharice Grantham. She is here in the audience, and Sharice is a Mary Kay sales lady, and she sent some male face wash, and she was sending it as a giveaway. And I said, Sharice, how about I use it and let the people know how it works? She said, go for it. So when y'all see me shining, just know it's because Sharice sent me the men's face wash. All right. So let me do one more thing before we get started. I want to we've been shouting out black businesses on here this week, as we know Black Lives Matter, and how are we going to impact some of these black lives? We're going to support black businesses. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Isn't it about economic empowerment? Isn't that one of the best things we can do to show that we love and support our brothers and sisters? And I'm saying this to black people, white people, red people, green people. It doesn't matter. If you believe that what's going on in our country is wrong, and you believe that there is a systemic issue that's been going on for a long time where black people have been marginalized in our society, then you can support black businesses and say, I want to help you. We're not asking for a handout, right? You people didn't like that. They're like, all they want is welfare. That's not true, because I've shown you so many amazing entrepreneurs and business owners and people who you could pay for their services and products, and we're bringing on another one today. But before that, I want to shout out this lady here is another member of the She Wins Society, and I talked to her earlier today, and she has an event coming up. And it is sold out, ladies and gentlemen. But I asked her if she would open up a few spots, and she said she would. So I want you guys to pay attention here. It is Dr. Shamika Dean. Dr. Shamika Dean presents The Evolution of a Woman. It is a conference that she is doing this weekend, the 5th and the 6th. You guys go. You're going to go to a link there, evolutionofwoman.eventbrite.com, right there at the bottom of your screen on that flyer. You guys see that right there. The theme is mastering motherhood, ministry, marriage, and the marketplace. Let me say that one more time in case y'all missed it in the back. The theme is mastering motherhood, ministry, marriage, and the marketplace. Ladies, look at the lineup on there. Is that our Andromeda? I think it is. She's going to be one of the speakers in this lineup. You guys have got to check this out. Support this work. She said she was gonna open the link back up. If you go to the link and link says sold out, you call me, you text me, you let me know, and I'm gonna call my girl Shamika Dean, and I'm gonna say, Shamika, you said you was gonna hook us up for the Lucas Live audience. So if you're watching this, please, and you're interested, check it out. Okay, this lineup is amazing. I know she'd only bring on the best because she does things with excellence. So please check out The Evolution of a Woman. If you want to step things up and take things to the next level, this is going to be an amazing, amazing event. Andromeda just dropped the link for those who are on Facebook. If you're on another platform, if you wouldn't mind putting evolutionofawoman.eventbrite.com in there so people can just click the link. It is there for you. So make sure you guys check that out. We want to support black businesses. Shout out also to Chris Downing and 27th Floor Clothing. We talked about Chris Downing in his new book yesterday. Make sure you go back and watch that episode. It's available on Amazon. He's a Beachbody super trainer. Was also a guest on the show. And then I'm wearing the Kermit the Frog Championship hat today to show some love to my guys at 7th Floor Clothing. LeBron James made this hat famous, but they too are from Akron, Ohio, just like LeBron. LeBron showed them some love and helped their business take off, and they've worked with American Express and eBay, and they've been in the New York Times and done some amazing things because of his support. So if LeBron can support him, why can't we just support him and show him some love? So check out 7thfloorclothing.com. They also have new I Still Can't Breathe t-shirts. If you've been looking for a I Still Can't Breathe t-shirt to wear to a rally, to a march, or just around the house or to your job to let people know I still can't breathe, you better back up off me. I'm not playing no more. If you need one, check out 7thfloorclothing.com. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you guys for enjoying that moment with us as we shouted out the people we want to support. So without further ado, I want to bring on our wonderful guest today. I am so excited. I'm planning on asking about 2 or 3 questions because this lady can go. She knows what she's talking about, and she has amazing philosophies. This is not going to be your everyday credit conversation. If you want to have somebody come on here and help you feel sorry for yourself about your situation, it's not the one. I learned that myself, just a few minutes ago. She was like, hey, it ain't about excuses because you can't make change if you're making excuses. And she helped me see that. So I want to welcome to the show, Miss Ronda Brunson. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure. I'm so excited. Now, you could hear me talking about you. Did you hear me talking about you?
I heard.
You can hear me? Okay, I hope you weren't offended because
it's all secret. It's true. It's okay.
It's all true. Ladies, I just can't tell you how inspired I was just by talking to you for the last few minutes. I can tell you're a woman of integrity, and that's what you're teaching other people as they look to repair and or build their credit. So I just want to jump right into it. Now we're going to talk a little bit about your story. We always like to get into that, the good, the bad, the ugly, because it helps people to be inspired. It helps them to be liberated that maybe their life doesn't have to be perfect and they can still have success. But you help people get their credit together. Can you start just by telling us a little bit about what are some of the most basic mistakes people make when it comes to credit?
I would first just like to correct you. I help people change their lives.
Amen.
The work I do is far deeper than any credit report, any credit file, any dispute. It is about allowing a person to understand that within them they have the tools to make great financial decisions, but they had to execute on what they know to be right.
I'm not mad at you at all. Thank you for the correction. I stand corrected, and that is even better. That is even better. So tell me about that, because tell me the difference and why you walk differently. Why not just say, yeah, I help. A lot of people, that's easy to market. Yeah, I help people credit repair. Just call me 1-800-credit repair. Why do you go deeper? Why are you trying to do more for people?
It may have to do with when I started. So when I began my business, it was in 2008. And at that time, credit restoration had such a negative connotation.
Okay.
You didn't tell people what you did. So I would tell people, I do financial services, I'm a consultant, but I had no pride about saying I did credit repair because I was getting looped into this group of people that had taken people's money, had overpromised and underdelivered. My expectation was set low because of what I said that I did. So as I became more of an expert in my area, and that came with like a lot of education and workshops and trainings and certifications. And I began to see, okay, if we peel back this onion, it gets a little deeper. I can no longer call myself a credit repair agent. I don't do that. I change lives. I try
I
to get
love
you
it.
to understand how credit works, especially for minorities, but how we can play the credit game in order for us to win. That's my goal.
Phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal. I think that does speak to it at the time that you started. So, how did you get started at such a crazy time? Did you realize what was going on? Did you just happen to get started right before things crashed? Tell us a little bit about your story as you began.
The market really crashed in like
Oh,
'09
nine,
or
yeah.
10. So in 2008, it was just something to do. And this is kind of a lengthy story, so just humor me.
Please go for it.
Okay, I had started out in collections, and then from collections, I went to debt management. So in those two fields, we're dealing straight with debt, not the fact that it exists on the credit report, but that it exists, period. So we're looking for ways to help people navigate through owing a whole lot of money. And then from there, I went into debt settlement where we're negotiating. And then my partner at the time and I were like, okay, we're going to put all of this together. And he was in real estate. We also owned some car dealerships at the time. But we said, we can do this. And back in the day, credit repair was easy because it was nothing really monitoring or regulating the credit reporting agencies. So if you disputed something, it came off in 24 hours.
Interesting.
Anything that you said didn't belong to you, it came off in 24 hours.
What?
Yeah, because remember, what they were trying to do was to create a market where the loan answer is always going to be yes. So when they were applying for homes, you were doing no doc loans, you were doing no score loans. This regulation that we see now was just kind of changed around maybe in 2011, 2012. It's technically new. And the rules and regulations of credit change as our economical environment changes. So we're going to see some more new rules coming out after maybe between July and October, once they see what the effect of this recession that we're in is now. It changes everything. It changes the algorithm. It changes how credit bureaus monitor themselves. It changes what items are able to be valued in a credit report. It changes everything. It's the economy that pushes that flow.
Fascinating. I don't think most of us realize that. I think we think credit is just this thing. A lot of people, it's just a thing that they don't understand. And one of the things you told me when we were talking was what credit repair, what it's really about, what building credit is really about. Can you share with the audience, at the core of it, what is it really about? What is the best thing people can do?
Integrity. Credit. Your credit report tells a story that you're unable to tell on your own. So when I go to a bank and I'm trying to get approved for something, I want to take to them the best impression I have of me. Because when they make decisions about you, it's never about what you say. It's not about what church you go to or you being the best husband. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're judging you by what they see in black and white. So if you can exercise integrity and you can pay your bills on time and you can follow the rules that have been preset in credit, you're probably going to get everything you want. If I can also just do a myth bust really quick.
Please do.
Having an 800 score does not guarantee approval. And having a 580 score does not guarantee a denial. You are always approved based off the content and the integrity of the credit report and your financials. So if I go into a home deal and I got a 640 and I'm barely kind of in there, well, back in the day, 4 months ago, you could start the home buying process at a 580. We're here now because of Corona. So if I had a 580, but I had $50,000 in the bank would be willing to take a risk on me because I had assets.
Right.
But if I have 800 and my financials are not in order, I haven't filed taxes, I don't have stable income, I'm not going to get approved for the loan.
Interesting. Listen.
The ability to repay. Can this person be trusted to pay back this bill over a certain period of time?
That's what it's all about. That's what it comes down to. And you said a word that I think is so important in everything that we do is integrity. And I have to be honest with you that I didn't know. I mean, I looked at credit as an integrity thing, but I also think it's, and I'm just talking about me, being raised as a young black man who went from a decent, maybe lower middle class family to poverty. I looked at credit. I told you when we were talking earlier, my father went to prison. My mom couldn't afford. My mom was working in childcare. She couldn't afford to pay for the house, the car. Our car was repossessed. There's a little puppy, your little puppy baby, just walked
Listen,
by.
just to let you know, someone's coming in my door. You know, I live in Miami, everyone, and people are here. So go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
First of all, it's fascinating, amazing. She lives in Miami, so she's going to invite us all out, and she has guests. So if you see people in the background, hey,
So
just
sorry.
it is what it is.
Okay.
It's all good. We're good with it on Lucas Live. It's all good. So you were talking about. So my mother struggled once my father was gone to pay the bill. So we lost our car to repossession. I remember waking up going to like seventh grade, and I was telling my friends like, somebody stole our car. They stealing cars out here. It's crazy. Be careful. They stealing cars. And I got home, and my mom was like, they repossessed it. I was like, what does that even mean, right? So we was on the bus, and I was at the corner store with food stamps buying groceries. Like that's what it changed to. And then we lost our house to foreclosure. My mom could not afford to pay for it. And the bank came and the police officer came and they knocked on the door and they're like, today's the day you got to go. So I always looked, but before that, obviously, the phone was ringing a lot, right? And there were these evil people calling our house, these evil debt collectors. Can you help us understand, are these people evil or are we just not following through with our agreements? Help us understand that.
Most relationships are successful when communication has been established. And if your response to people calling is to block them, not have communication, not talk, you're going to see that relationship take a pivotal turn down.
Any relationship would do that, right?
That credit is so relational. It's so much about how you want to be treated and how you treat things and people. That's how you want to pretty much sum up credit. It's relational. So when it comes to these evil debt collectors, now I don't know what year that happened to you, and back then we were evil.
It was the 90s. It was the 90s.
Yeah. I mean, so since then we've had other regulations that have come in where people are not allowed to call you and harass you. You know what I mean? They can't say words that are going to trigger you emotionally. They can't call you if you tell them that not to. You can send a creditor a cease and desist. But where does that get you? Because the debt still exists. So I had a client who we were working on home purchase, and she called me frantic because her credit score dropped like 70 points. She had gotten reported late for December and November on a credit card. And I said, well, wait a minute. These people hire call centers full of workers to communicate with you. She said, oh, I blocked them. Why did you do that?
Okay.
Because that's your first form of defense. If you owe someone, they're going to call you first. And they're going to start sending letters. But if you don't respond, you can guarantee that relationship is going to take a turn for the worse.
I don't know if I'm the only one, ladies and gentlemen. This is a different way of looking at things, especially for me. I don't know how you guys grew up, but growing up in the culture of poverty where we didn't talk much about finance, we certainly weren't learning it in school, and there was this stigma, right? Like everybody knew about the bill collectors. Me and all my friends, we all had the jokes like, Mom, so-and-so was on the phone. My mom said she ain't here, right? Like that was very normal, right? Like you avoid those people, and we learn to avoid these bill collectors, the evil bill collectors. They calling, trying to get some money out of us, as though we don't have the assets that they're calling, right? We're living in the house, or we're driving the car, or we're wearing the clothes from the credit card, and yet we're mad at them. So your perspective is, and so many of us are literally afraid to answer that phone. If I called you and I was working with you and I'm like, Rhonda, these people are calling me, they're stressing me out. What would you say? First thing I need to do is what? Answer the phone, talk to them. What do I say?
Shake it off. So when you talk to people, you got to remember they put their pants on one leg at a time like you. I did a video at the beginning of the pandemic to let people know that you have to lose this anxiety that exists when it comes to speaking to creditors. You don't have the ability to do that right now, because if you want some help, if you want people to look out for you, and there's so many programs that exist when you communicate. Now, let's put this in a perspective. I'm dating a guy and he ghosts me. How would I feel about that? That's how creditors feel. They're in a relationship with you and you're ghosting them. You no longer want to talk to them about the asset. You don't want to talk to them about the car payment. You don't want to talk to them about the credit card payment. You don't have the ability to set the terms of your relationship. You know what I mean? Deep. When you sign into these contracts, you are saying, we're going to be responsible for one another. I'm going to act as a great consumer, and in turn, you're going to treat me like one. But if you are not doing your due diligence, which is really basic, and it's just talking, it's hard for me to then go back and say, hey, they didn't mean it. Hey, wait a minute. Don't close that account. They don't know. Avoidance will never get you anywhere.
Fascinating. We have some questions from the audience that I'd like us to get to as well. Um, uh, you're already helping so many people. People are already saying they're learning so much already, and we're just getting into this, ladies and gentlemen. She's only been on here for 10 minutes already, and we're already learning so much. I know I learned a lot before the show. I got a free credit counseling session. She didn't know that's what I was doing, but she looked out for me. It's all good. So one of our questions here from Lady Latrice Marie Robinson, she says, how does disputing things that are falling off this year help or hurt you? So, and maybe what she's asking, I've heard this, and I could be wrong, Lady Latrice, you can tell me if I'm wrong. I've heard once it's about to fall off anyway, but once I engage in conversation or I start to dispute or talk to these people, then it starts the clock over of oh, now we're engaged with you, and now we're coming for you again, and it's not going to fall off. So if it's going to fall off, does it help or hurt us to start talking and disputing stuff?
Can we dissect that a bit? Number one, where are you coming from with the data that shows that item is going to be coming off the report? Is that because that's your assumption? Or have you seen that on a credit report? For example, TransUnion, if you order a copy of your credit report, it tells you every month and year that a specific account is supposed to delete. If you're assuming, because people assume, so they'll say, I opened a credit card in 2014, so in 2021, it's going to come off my report. No, it's not. It's 7 to 10 years from the last activity date. If it was positive, it stays on for 10 years. If it had any negatives associated with it, it'll come off in 7 years from the last time it was active. So if the account charged off, if you close the account in 2022, even though you opened it, in 2020, even though you opened it in 2014, it's going to remain on the account until 2027.
So Lady Latrice says it says it on her report. So her report says it's about to fall off. And this is a question I'm sure others are wondering. Would you recommend, if somebody's working with you, would you say call them and start making payment arrangements? Don't touch it. Okay.
No, but it depends upon the debt. I hate credit questions, man.
This is good though, but this is good. We appreciate
I know, but it goes so deep. So let's say the item you're looking at is Landmark or One Main Financial. Have you all heard of them before? They're local lenders.
You tell us what it is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Lenders. One Main Financial, Landmark, credit unions. Okay. Let's say that those items are scheduled to come off this year, but they already took you to court. If they want a judgment against you, it's collectible for 20 years, whether it's on the report or not. So the problem is that people assume that just because you can't see it, it doesn't exist. It's equally why the STD rate is so high, because people are clean.
Hold up.
Amen.
Wait a minute. All right. Get to it.
Because people look a certain type of way. They want to be accepted based off of this. You still have to address the debt. Your concern can't always be, what do I look like in credit if you have all of these judgments against you?
Fascinating. And she done brought up STDs in here. I love the analogy though. I mean, it was real. It was just real and raw. That's how we like to keep it on Lucas Live. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have not shared this broadcast yet, you're being selfish. That's all I got to say. I'm just going to call you out. You're being selfish. There's somebody out there, your friends, your family, your circle, who don't know about Lucas Live. They never saw it, or they do and they think they're too busy, or whatever's going on, and they need to see this now. And maybe they'll go back and see it on your page or your timeline or your LinkedIn or your whatever it is, and then they'll watch it later. But you got to share this information right now, because there's too many people who are in a bad place. And this is not a black show for black people, only black people. But right now, in a moment where black people are people are starting to recognize how we've been marginalized, it's so important for us to help each other out. We can march and shout and cry. I said that earlier in a post, and I'm all for it. But if we don't get economic empowerment, if we don't get our credit together, if we can't own property, if we can't invest in businesses, if we can't invest in other things, how are we ever going to make real change if we're always standing at the door asking somebody else to give us something? So this is such an important topic, ladies and gentlemen. I see your comments. I'm going to scroll here a little bit. Topher Lynch said this is what he does for a living as well. She is preaching facts to y'all. Thank you so much, Topher. Thank you for joining the show. Appreciate it, my friend. So glad to have you here. And thank you for all your support. Really appreciate it. Corinne, thank you for sharing it. She said shared it. If you shared it, tell me you shared it in the comments. Just say shared it. Show us. This is like marching. This is like standing up. This is like doing something that's impactful. Say you shared it. And let me take a minute to let you guys know that the wonderful Ronda Brunson is a member of the She Wins Society. Let's not forget what brought us here today, ladies and gentlemen. It is time once again for us to recognize that what Andromeda Raheem started in the She Wins Society, once upon a time known as Women by Choice, is what brought this great woman to Lucas Live today. Now, what brought her to doing the things that she's done, only God knows what his plans were for her, but clearly he had big plans for this woman's life, and we're so grateful that she's here. I see you shared it. I see you guys. Vitra, welcome to the show. Thank you guys so much. This is life-changing, ladies and gentlemen. This is, you can march right here, right now. You can stand up and say Black Lives Matter right here, right now by making sure you're sharing and showing love right here and representing it. Thank you so much, everybody who's here. Thank you guys so much for doing that. If I missed a question, if you have a question, please put your question in the comments. If I happen to miss your question, feel free to put your question back in. And Rhonda has company, but maybe she'll have some time at some point to jump back in and maybe.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. She'll get back with you and share and answer some comments. And if you really want some help, you need to reach out to Rhonda to get some help. Now we're not ending this. We got at least another 30 minutes. Rhonda, though, I want you to tell people how they can get a hold of you, because somebody is watching right now and they're going to miss it. And somebody needs to get their pen and paper out. Somebody needs to type it in the comments. How can people, what is this? What services do you provide? And then how can people engage with you and your business?
I provide what you need. So I'm probably the most honest, and I know the other guy on here does credit, and that's cool. This is not a shot, sure. But I'm one of the most honest credit companies that exist. So if a person does not need me, I will tell them. If you ever want to schedule a consultation with me, you can book at missbcreditqueen.com. I actually encourage that people follow me on Instagram first, get a feel of who I am and what I do before you schedule, because our conversation is so different than what you've ever talked to somebody about before. Usually in this day and age, especially where credit is marketed as like network marketing, the whole thing is dispute. We can't focus on that. Your scores are not based off of what banks don't see. It is based off of how well you're maintaining open lines of credit that they do see. So get a feel for me first, because I ain't for everybody. And I'm very honest. So when you come in, you're going to leave me with homework. If you need me, I'll offer you a package. And if you don't need me, I'm going to give you an outline of what it is that you can do on your own.
I love it. So follow her on Instagram first. You said that was what, Miss
That
B?
is Miss Brunson _credit queen. Can you type it for me? Because I can't see the Facebook on here at all.
Miss Brunson _credit queen. If somebody could type that in the comments, and I can put it up here on the screen as well. Miss Brunson _credit queen. Let's make sure we follow her and check her out on Instagram. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to miss this. You want to make sure that you stay tuned too. Don't click off. You got stuff going on. I know what, the sun is shining, it look nice outside. She in Miami and she in the house talking to us. We can certainly sit here and learn something. All right. Thank you so much, Andromeda, for typing that up there. Andromeda has put her information in the comments there on Facebook. Check that out there. Here, I'll click it and put it on the screen. If you're watching on another platform, thank you for being here. LinkedIn audience, thank you. YouTube, Periscope, thank you guys for being here. We welcome you. We see you. We appreciate you being here. But here it is right here for you guys to have. Mr. Henry Zachary, my man, Zach, thank you so much for being here. Excellent topic. Thank you for saying that. And this is not just for women, ladies and gentlemen. This is the She Wins Society Week on Lucas Live, and we're supporting these wonderful Black women in business, but their services aren't just for women. Rhonda can help you, man, woman, boy, girl, it doesn't matter. If you got some credit, she can help you out. So let's talk some more about it. So help us a little bit, because to help us understand the emotion tied to credit. It is emotional. It's somewhat embarrassing. We're not answering our phone only because we are horrible, evil people. We're answering our phone somewhat because we're like embarrassed to have that awkward conversation, have to tell these people, I don't know if I can pay you. And then we're worried that they're going to talk to us like we're kids. So help us understand the emotion of it.
I mean, it goes deeper than that. I mean, there are people even in your group, if you're a small group of friends, you'll have the ones that want to brag about their credit and what it's doing, and it makes you feel small because you'll start feeling like you are supposed to be further ahead than what you are.
Yes.
So, I mean, credit, the way the topic is presented most of the time when we talk about it. So we have the freecreditreport.com, we have the Credit Karmas that have us to, in my opinion, overly focused on scoring, which then also plays into our emotions. So when I meet with clients, sometimes I tell them, you have to disconnect. Like, you can't stalk your credit file. You got to really take a break back, because you're creating your own anxiety and it's not necessary. So it's a lot of emotions that are tied to credit.
I love that. I personally have been there where I'm like, I don't need to look at Credit Karma every week. Like, I don't care. I don't check nothing that much. I don't need to know every minute. Oh, it went up. Oh, it went down. Oh, something. Oh, wait, what is that? Oh, something fell off. Oh, something.
You what that's about, though, because that Credit Karma, this is going to really,
it's going to mess some people up. All right, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm buckling up. Go ahead.
Okay.
All right. All right, I'm buckling.
Credit Karma is not a credit reporting site. Credit Karma is a marketing site. They make between $500 million and $700 million a year selling your information. If you read the privacy policy, they really don't got one. Everything that you submit belongs to them. So when they're making these offers to you and they're telling you, oh, you can do this for your credit, you can do it. Yeah, it's because every time you click, they get paid. Every time you apply, they get paid. That is how their design or their business is designed. So because our culture especially is so amazed by the word free, we do ourselves a disservice. It is worth having sites that you pay for. It is nothing wrong with saying, I'm going to give Privacy Guard $19.99 a month to monitor me and not deal with all the back end sales stuff. If you're familiar with Cambridge Analytica, yes?
Yes, I've heard. Educate us. Education, motivation, liberation. Okay. Cambridge Analytica. Tell us about it.
Cambridge Analytica was the company that was hired in Europe, I believe, overseas, and they controlled the winning of Donald Trump because of the algorithms that are preset. It's the same algorithm that's now used in marketing to people as it relates to credit. If they know that this is your fixation, they're going to continue to send you things that will, quote unquote, improve your situation without giving you the tools or the knowledge of how to really use it.
Ronda.
That was a lot. So I'm just telling you, like, back in on the other side of it, when something is free, you absolutely have to question why. Another free site that collects your information and sells it, Zillow, and you love it.
Wait. We can't buy a house without Zillow.
Oh, sure you can.
That's where the houses are at, though. Wait a minute. Tell us about it. Education, motivation, liberation. Rhonda, you have to stay on for 3 hours now. Okay, I'm sorry. No, you got things to do. Go ahead.
So with Zillow, they often show houses that are no longer on the market because it helps them understand what you're looking for. And if I know what you're looking for, I can always offer it to you. And so now I'm going to take this data and I'm going to sell it to lead companies, and they're going to start marketing to me. Like, you got to be smarter than this. It's all kind of constructed this way. The images that we see on TV, the things that we see. If you go to Amazon right now and you look at a chair, you go on Instagram, the chair is there. That's not magic.
Right.
That is how the algorithm, and they have applied the same thing to credit. So with credit reporting modules, they are now focused more on behavioral recognition. It's not about late payments. It's not about opening up too many lines of credit, which is still a bad thing. If you open up a credit card and it's $500, that's the limit. And in the first 6 months, you spend $500, your scores are going to drop as if you went late. And it's going to take 6 to 12 months to rebuild from that, even if you paid the balance off, because the banks don't trust you. They don't know who you are.
Rhonda, were you born this way? Have you always just been fire? I mean, what's up? Like, you are like, okay, so Rhonda, okay, you have to please. It would be, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We still got another 20 minutes plus. Rhonda, you got to come back on the show. We need to just do a whole segment. We need to do this more often. This is, I would greatly appreciate it. This is such an important topic. There's pieces of this that we're not even going to be able to get into tonight. And this stuff just comes off your head just like it's nothing. And we're sitting here like, I know people's eyes are wide open. I'm sitting here trying to be cool because I'm the host. And the host is supposed to have some kind of composure and not be sitting here falling out of his chair wondering what went on and what's going on. It is so fascinating. I'm telling you what I was taught as a child. I bought a house. Me and my wife were able to buy a beautiful 5-bedroom house with land and all kind of crazy stuff. And I was like, I can't, they ain't going to let me get no credit. They not going to let me get out. It's not going to work. My wife was like, we just got to go try. We got money. We make money. We good. went in there and it worked. So help us understand. Sometimes you said it earlier. Sometimes people got a perfect score and think they're gonna get it all. Sometimes people don't have the perfect score and think they can't even walk into the bank. They can't even talk to the lender. They're walking around with their head down, thinking they have no opportunity. Help us understand. Help break some of those stigmas. What's the deal with that? It's possible, you're saying, for people who don't have it all to have more than what they had today. Is that right?
Can we first acknowledge universe, spirits, manifestation, and faith? You're not going to have nothing if you don't have faith. So if that's your mindset
Amen.
Going into it, I'm not going to get it. That is exactly what your experience will be when you get to the office.
Amen.
So we have to change that. Now, it is possible, and because scoring is so different. So if you pull your report through CreditWise on Capital One, and then you pull your report through Wells Fargo, and then you pull your report through Credit Check Total, and then we go to the mortgage office, we're going to see 4 different scores. How I equate that, how I make that real, is let's say that there are four different people that know me. Number 1, I don't like her, she gets too smart. Number 2, yeah, but she's smart though.
She's
Number
brilliant
3,
though.
she thinks she's cute.
Right.
And then 4, but she is. That's 4 different opinions, right?
Right.
It doesn't mean that anyone is real. It means that they are judging me based off of their own experience. That is how banks operate. They set pre-scoring. So if I apply a client for a First Premier account and First Premier denies them, they can say, well, you're denied because on a scale of 0 to 100, you're a 38. But there is no 100 score. Right?
Right.
They have their own algorithms and their own scoring modules. That's why we can't say, don't apply if your score on this site is this low. We have to take you to that entity to apply so that they can tell us no, and we can know what to perfect to send you back.
So that's why if you go to get a car and you're on the lot, and they're like, let's get you over to the finance person, which is not the person you've been riding around in cars with and bonding. It's just some person. And they always say this, my favorite line, we're going to get you into something. And I'll be like, something usually means debt and crazy interest rates or something. It may not always mean the something you want. The something may be much worse than what you think. So they get you over there, but they run it, and then they're like, oh, Bank 1 said no. And then they're like, we're going to run it with somebody else. Bank 2 said no. Bank 3 is the win. Bank 3 wants you. They want you. And what you're telling us is they're operating under different rules. It's not all the same.
If 3 banks are denying you for an auto loan, there's some things that we need to probably work on beforehand. Because in those scenarios, that type of denial will come with like a prior repossession, or you're asking for too much.
Okay. What does that look like? Help us understand that.
Loans are given in tiers. So if your car loan was $15,000 and you did a good job at it, but now you're asking for $80,000. They've never seen you operate at $80,000. They saw you operate at $15,000. So from $15,000 you might go to $25,000, $30,000, but there has to be a transition. Even if you're saying that you have the income, they have to make sure that you have the ability to repay, that you're going to be used to this payment. Same thing happens when I have people who are on Section 8 and they want to buy houses. There's nothing wrong with that transition. It is changing your mindset to understand that you're going to be responsible for a lot more. So if the last 5 years you've been giving your landlord on Section 8 $300 a month, and I'm trying to tell you that your mortgage is going to be $1,300, that's a lifestyle change.
Yes.
And we have to make sure that you're ready for it. Other times when you're going into a dealership, it may be about the amount of down payment. So Wells Fargo may say, okay, we're willing to give you 17. The car is 25. We would need another $8,000. So it doesn't mean that you weren't approved. It means that you were the $17,000. You're going to have to come up with the $8,000 down payment. The down payment, though, can have more to do with maybe a trade-in. If you are upside down, you have to buy out some of that negative equity. Right. Or just the fact that you haven't managed the debt that large before.
Great information. Everybody in the comments, there's claps, there's people saying good stuff. Y'all, if y'all are appreciating this, say something in the comments. We love seeing your comments. I'm throwing comments up here on the screen. Appreciate everybody and all the love you guys are showing. If you're on Periscope, hit those hearts, because on Periscope, that's what tells Twitter that this is important, and it puts it out there to more people. If you're on Facebook, show some love, hit some hearts. Make sure you're sharing. Make sure you're telling somebody about it. Text somebody right now. Text them. Be like, listen, are you watching Lucas Live? Because Ronda over here breaking it down. down about credit. She done messed up Zillow. She done messed up our theology on Zillow. She done messed up our theology on Credit Karma. She done broke it down. Now we got to go to the Lord and get our lives together, because she told us it's not what we think it is, and we have been tricking ourselves, and they've been tricking us. And not that I don't know that Ronda is saying these are evil companies. No, they're giving you what you want, but you're giving them more than you think you're giving them.
Right.
And they're taking your information and they're using it for whatever. And it is what it is, but you guys need to recognize that. So how do you help people who come from generations of poor credit management, of poor financial decisions? When what do you do? How do you go about helping somebody change their mind? Because somebody watching right now is like, I don't know any different. Like, I'm not going to start answering the phone when bill collectors call. I don't care what this lady say. How do you help people get out of their own way?
Well, can we just first acknowledge that we don't have a generational credit problem? Credit is only 2 generations old. So credit essentially started maybe in like the 50s. And even then they were sent out to select consumers to try to see how they work. They started out as Diners Club and American Express. Visa and MasterCard came later. So we can't continue to burden our parents with the guilt that they didn't teach us what they did not know. So if it's up to you, then the first thing is to empower yourself with education and knowledge, and not just looking up things on how do I get this off, but deciding this day, amen, that you're going to have some integrity and repay people. So what I give clients this analogy, they kind of get it. If I borrowed $1,000 from you, Lucas, and every time you saw me in the mall, I said, I don't know who you are, you would feel disrespected.
Absolutely.
That is a dispute. When people dispute things, they're saying, I have no knowledge. And that is not true. So let's say that after a year of trying to chase me for this $1,000, you tell your wife, Corinne, right?
Yep.
Corinne,
yep.
I'm sick of Ronda. She owes me $1,000. I'm going to sell this account to you for $100. Whatever you collect over it belongs to you. So now we have gone through the original creditor who is charged off the debt, you. And now I have a new collection off account with Corinne. My dealings now have to be with Corinne.
Yep.
She's the person that controls the outcome and whatever I see on my credit report, because if she has the ability to report credit, which all companies don't, I'm going to see it there. And if Corinne is an attorney or has legal representation, Corinne can sue me as if she was you. We got to choose to have integrity. We have to stop saying it doesn't belong to me when it does. There's no shame in saying, you know what, I did that wrong, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it right. But when we lack integrity, it's very obvious in the credit report. Fun fact, when you apply for credit for a mortgage, if they see dispute markers on accounts that are over like $1,000, you're denied. They have to take all items out of dispute. Second fun fact, when something is in dispute in your credit report, you're not getting a clear read on what your scoring is. So when we go back and we take the dispute markers off on the mortgage side, people's credit scores drop because we're not getting a full read on who they were.
Wow.
So it's just about how you choose to conduct yourself.
The credit report is a diagnostic tool. I hear you saying it's trying to take your temperature, and you're trying to trick the system, but you end up being tricked. Right? You're trying to deny things that were yours. You're trying to get out from under it. Somebody said, oh, just deny it. Just get out from behind it. And you're saying that's not the right thing to do. And you started by telling us the best thing we can do is recognize credit as a relationship. And I want to talk about that a little bit more, because let me tell you my experience in the past was talking to creditors who I'm like, is this your money? Like, I'd be like, Sally, you work over there at the call center. I make more money than you, Sally. Why you talk? But Sally, your coworker just called you. Why are you talking to me crazy, Sally? Like I'm a horrible person because I'm going through a rough time. So I think a lot of us feel like they're the ones who made the relationship hostile. Like, what do we do when they call? And it could be us. You correct us. Maybe it's me. Maybe my energy ain't right when they first call, and they're like, I'm calling for Lucas, and they say my name wrong, and then they're like, just to let you know, this call is being recorded because we're trying to get you on tap. That's what it sounds like. Like we trying to get you set up. And so I'm already like, this don't feel good. You know what I'm saying? I can't call somebody and be like, hey, just so you know, this call is being recorded. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, So what's happening there? Is it us? Is it them? Why this relationship feels so hostile anyway?
Yeah.
What do you think?
in life, we've had hostile relationships. So I can't say that every man I've had an argument with is going to act and treat me like that man from before. You got to go in with clean slates, right? So you can't, I understand why the hairs on the back of your neck would stand up, why you would start sweating, especially if you don't have the money. I get it. It doesn't mean that the conversation is any less necessary.
Yes.
That conversation could hold the key to your breakthrough. There are some banks that will not deal with you if you owe their sister. Why should they?
Why should they? That's
you
fair.
You have to have conversations. I mean, it is relational. So what I tell clients is that a credit card to a credit card is a sister, and a credit card to an auto loan is a cousin. No matter how you look at it, they're watching how you treat their family members to determine how they do business with you.
You preaching. Hold on.
Don't want to give too much power to the credit report, because the credit report is nothing without an underwriter. The underwriter is who is the decision maker and protects the interests of the bank. The report does nothing but provides factual information off of how you conducted yourself.
Man, wow. Topher said, I need to collaborate with her on a virtual credit seminar. He said, this is fire. This is amazing. Topher, you got to wait in line. I got to have her back on the show. I mean, hey, maybe I can coordinate it. I can host it. I'll be the host.
You know when I would want to come back to you? I would want to come back after July, when all the people that thought that they were getting deferments really got forbearances. And we can talk about the climate of real estate and mortgages and what we should be expecting in the next few months.
Okay, that was more than what, I don't know that people realized what you just said, but I think that's so important. And there's some they're trying to talk about this from a legislative standpoint, what's right, what's wrong. Okay, so we all know coronavirus hit, 40-50% of people are unemployed, something crazy unemployment numbers. People can't afford to pay their mortgages or their rent. And I don't even know how they did rent, because I'm like, who's paying the landlord? Like, the landlord is just a person. Like, I don't understand that one. But anyway, so they are allowing people to not pay their mortgages and car payments and things like that, but especially the mortgages. A lot of people think they're getting a deferment, but what they got was a forbearance. Is that the right way to say it?
That is the perfect way of saying it.
Okay, so
Instagram.
Go for it. You tell me. Tell us the difference.
TV, when I do videos on Instagram, I always link it to music. So this song that went around along with this presentation was Sesame Street, because I was giving people vocabulary words that relate to what we're going through. Wow. Deferment and forbearance are totally different. And when I went and read some of my clients' letters who told me after that they signed up for it, it says, for Wells Fargo specifically, if you don't have all the money to pay us in July, give us a call and we can talk about some options. But that lets me know that they never offered her for a deferment. Deferments move payments to the end.
Right.
Forbearances say you get a break, but we want our money on the 91st day. So those 91st day people, the really crazy sad part is what they're going to introduce them to is the option of a loan modification. But you can't do a loan modification if you have no stable employment. So if they're still unemployed, that's it. That's why we're going to see an oversaturation of houses. It's going to be a buyer's, and it's already kind of a buyer's market. It's going to be more difficult for you to credit qualify and financially qualify. You may start seeing some programs that no longer exist that did exist for first-time home buying. Wow. They're going to be going back auditing their records, because remember, banks expect for you to be able to afford it based off of the financials that you presented when you started the loan. So bring me back in the fold. I want to talk the fold.
I can't wait. I cannot wait. Okay, I need you to come back. We got to do that. We got to Oprah Dr. Phil this thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was people, they came on, and we're going to make this thing happen. And I hope today, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know when guests come on Lucas Live, I want you guys to realize my heart, my thought about it is there are people who are in my tribe, who are my followers, and I love you, but you need to spend more time with Ronda than you do with me. Now, most people never tell you that, because that's crazy. They'd be like, no, I need my followers, I need my views, I need my stuff, because that's how I'm going to do, I'm going to monetize this thing, right? And that's true, but God will work all that out. Somebody needs to spend more time following Ronda than following me. If you find what she's saying to be meaningful and impactful, and I just don't know how you can't, and you find yourself following her, or she go live or something happened and you got to go to her instead of me, I'm not mad at you. I want you to be where you need to be to get your life together. My goal is to be the connector. My goal is to plug people in. That's what I'm here for. That's my heart for this show. That's what my mom would have done. My mom was always about helping other people. She wasn't thinking about the game for herself. But one thing she told me was you can't outgive God. Like, if you keep giving, God's going to keep giving to you. And every time you try to empty your hand, He's going to put something else back in it. So my heart is to to highlight these wonderful, wonderful women who have been on here this week and all of my other guests so that you guys become their supporters and their followers. And to Andromeda, again, in the She Wins Society. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this and this is the first time you saw us this week, please go to shewinsociety.com. I'm going to put it here on the screen, shewinsociety.com. Now, it is only for women, but for the men who have a special woman in their life, whether it's a mother, a sister, a cousin, a wife, a girlfriend, they need to join the She Wins Society, because the She Wins Society is filled with Rondas, filled with, I mean, ain't nobody like Ronda. This Ronda, I can't help it. Ain't nobody like Ronda. But they're filled with women who are just as excellent in their area as Ronda is in her area. So we've had other people on. We had Shamar on yesterday, and we've had so many other women on this week who have just been amazing. And they talk about the things that they bring to the table that are helping women, and then they're a sisterhood. They've had best-selling authors, multiple best-selling authors, because they were a member of this group. And as a group, they support each other. So when somebody drops something, everybody's buying the album. When somebody drops a book, everybody's buying the book. They love each other. They support each other. They travel together. They go on cruises. They have local events near you. It is phenomenal. My wife has been a member for years, and I am the biggest male supporter of the She Wins Society, second only to Andromeda's husband. I have to give it to him. I'm sure that man, he's been in the blood, sweat, and tears of it, so I'm sure he's been in it even deeper. But my heart is with the She Wins Society. That's what this entire week is about. If you've missed any episodes, they are available on YouTube at Lucas Tyndale. Just look up my name, Lucas Tyndale, on YouTube, or you can look it up at Lucas Live Media on Facebook. So please check out the previous episodes. And Andromeda said, ain't nobody like Ronda. True story. She said, that's true. Nobody like Ronda. So you guys, make sure you guys check this out. So let's talk a little bit more. We don't have a lot more time, and we're going to bring Ronda back. I promise we will. But Ronda, somebody is on here and they've heard the truth that you've given us. You've talked about integrity. You've talked about some sites that we thought were our best friend and they may be not. You talked to us about talking to people who, quite frankly, many of us, because we were raised by parents who didn't know no better. They didn't know no better. They didn't know because they weren't raised with parents who had credit. Didn't necessarily teach us what to do. Somebody out there is like looking at you like, all right, now that you kind of opened me up, you kind of did some surgery. Put me back together again, Ronda. Help me heal. Tell me how to go forward. I'm a little broken. I'm a little surprised. I heard some things today that I didn't know. You kept it so real, but some of it cut. Put us back together. What do we do now? How then shall we live? What can we start doing today to put things back together?
I mean, I guess that is such an open question for me. That's like saying to the doctor, you know, my toe hurts. It could be broken. It could be sprained. It could be framed. I don't know. You know, I mean.
So do they call you? What do they do? Because you can help them individually. What is it?
I mean, you would have to schedule a consultation, and it's worth it. I do charge a consultation fee is $50, right? But at the end of it, either I'm going to offer you a program that will work for you, or I'm going to give you a detailed analysis of what you can do on your own. I don't believe in taking everybody's money. I don't think God wants me to do that. I think that the Lord wants me to minister to people, meet them at their point of need, and decide whether or not this is a long-term relationship. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is not your client. Everybody does not need your service. And It doesn't speak ill of your business, but it speaks high of your integrity. If I can tell you that, like, nah, listen, you can do this on your own. I am here to be your cheerleader, your accountability partner. I'm going to pump you up. I'm going to make you think and believe in all the stars and all the galaxies, because you have to go into it with that mindset.
I love it. I love it. Again, how can they get a hold of you? Somebody on here tonight is going to be getting a hold of you. Your phone is going to be blowing up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys don't reach out to my friend Ronda tonight, I'm going to be mad at you. Now, she got company in town and stuff, but don't let that be an excuse, because she can get back to you. All right? Don't let that be an excuse. I don't want to bother her, because somebody is inspired tonight. This is the thing about education, motivation, liberation. Motivation is about getting started now. Don't wait. You don't need to ask your husband. You don't need to ask your wife. You don't need to ask them to get healthy. If you know your credit is a little sick, and you need to get some stuff together. If you know your life is a little sick, because she said she helps you get your life together. If you need that, you need to reach out to her. Tell us one more time how we can get a hold of you. How can we follow you? What do we do to get your services?
So I know that we're on Facebook, but I'm at the Max on Facebook, so I would not recommend following me here. But you can go to Instagram, Ms. Brunson _Credit Queen. You can send me an email if you want, Ronda at Miss B Credit Queen. But only thing I'm probably going to tell you is schedule a consult, because I don't guess. Everyone's credit report is as unique as their fingerprint. I don't do no guesswork. I got to see it in order to give you an outline.
Love it, love it, love it. Rhonda, you have been phenomenal. You represent the She Wins Society so well. Before we end, can you just tell us, what has the She Wins Society meant to you? What has it done for you? Why are you a part of this great society?
Oh, funny you ask. This week I made a post in the group because I know that Andromeda and I had in listening to her story, shared the same experiences somewhat with women. I think women can relate to her story because of that. Like, we all have dealt with the cattiness, kind of like the backbiting, the jealousy, and all of that. So it causes you to lose faith in that type of sisterhood. For the most part, I hang around men. I mean, I've just found that it was more comforting. You weren't competing with anything. You weren't trying to get attention. You didn't need validation. You just kind of hanging out with your homeboys. And then the She Wins Society popped up. And I was like, I'm going to go on this cruise and I'm going to see what it's about. And then I went and I loved it. Wow. So ever since then, I continue to go. If she ever calls me and needs me to do something, I'm going to fly in or whatever. And we're going to get that done, because I do understand that the relationships that are forged there are important. There are women I would have never met my entire life, all the way in like St. Martin or something, all out of the country. From all over, they come or communicate or commune, I should say.
Yes.
And we get to know each other in a different level. And I think that that's really important. It's funny because you can sometimes find more safety with strangers than you can with people that you've known your whole life.
Fascinating, fabulous. Thank you so much. Shout out to the She Wins Society. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching this, ladies, and you're not a member, go check it out. Does it cost you something? Yes. But the investment is not in She Wins Society. The investment is in you. Are you worth it? Do you think you're worth it to have a group of sisters that will be there to support you? Maybe you don't even think of yourself as an entrepreneur, and you're thinking, I got to be an entrepreneur. So many women who are on here this week, who were highlighted from the She Wins Society, said they never thought they were going to write a book. They never thought they were going to be an entrepreneur. They were just looking for some sisters. And many of them said they didn't particularly get along well with women. And they didn't think, as Rhonda said, they didn't know that they even needed that. But there is something to it. There is something to a sisterhood. I believe it is something that God purposed and ordained. And I'm so grateful that this organization exists. It has changed my wife's life. It has changed so many other lives. Ladies and gentlemen, please, please, please support somebody. And if you're already a member and it's just on your heart right now and you want to sponsor somebody to help them become a member of the She Wins Society, please reach out at shewinsociety.com. God may be putting it on your heart to sponsor somebody else to allow them this opportunity. Please, please, please do that tonight. We thank you guys so much. Again, shout out to Andromeda. Thank you for bringing on another great guest. Rhonda, I hope I want to be your friend. I want to know you. I want to be able to talk to you because your knowledge and your wisdom is next level. So I will be in touch. And I just want to continue to share what you share with everybody I know, because I think you're breaking down barriers. You're killing the false, the myths. And it's so, so needed. So thank you so much for being here again.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, Andromeda. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it was another great night here on Lucas Live. I can't tell you how wonderful it was for me. I appreciate all of you guys for being here with us once again. I promise to keep bringing you guys great guests. We have 2 more great guests as we finish out the week. And on our star of the week, Miss Andromeda is going to join us one more time tomorrow to wrap it up at the end of the show. So make sure you don't miss tomorrow night's show. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the shares. Thank you for all the messages and the inboxes and the encouragement and the love of all the people who say keep doing what we're doing. It's because of you we do it. We're Lucas Live because we have the livest audience. Thank you guys so much. Everybody have a great night, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.